Okay guys, PD Tech here. So some really sad news. I just noticed yesterday that the little mini drone helicopter thing that NASA sent to Mars, Ingenuity it was called, has crashed. So it was taken up on the Mars rover Perseverance inside its chassis. And it was like an experimental flying technology. The first time they've ever done it apparently. And they just wanted to fly around Mars and get some aerial footage, and they weren't even sure if it was going to fly in the atmosphere or anything. So I think, reading off Wikipedia, it took its first flight, its first powered aircraft flight on another planet on April the 19th, 2021, and they weren't even sure if it was going to fly, but apparently it's taken 72 flights, and its final flight was on 18th of January 2024. So it lasted, almost 3 years. That's not bad at all, is it, really? So let's have a quick look at it flying and what it looks like. So this is some of this footage is taken from Perseverance rover.
The camera that took this photo is almost 250 million kilometres away, but the picture it took throws Mars into focus like never before. It was taken by the Mars rover, Percy, and shows NASA's remarkable Mars helicopter, Ingenuity. The photo is the first time in 2 years that the two Intrepid robots have been close enough for such a clear picture. It was taken from about 23 metres or 75 feet away, close enough to spot the layer of Mars dust.
So if you notice, it's like a twin rotor design, contra-rotating. And then on the top, that's like a little solar panel array. So you've got 4 legs sticking out from what looks like a little sort of foil-covered box, which will have all the electronics and the avionics and stuff. So it's basically like it's got a camera on it. It's probably got some sensors as well. It's got a little battery inside that charges off the solar panel, and then it's got these 2 contra-rotating helicopter blades. So, to be honest with you, the design of it looks very, very fragile. This thing has got to fly in the Martian atmosphere. It's a very dusty, rocky place, and it's got these quite big contra-rotating rotor blades. I'm so surprised it's lasted 3 years, to be honest. I'm surprised it's not been blown over or crashed before now. So what's happened is it's actually crashed and it's damaged the rotor blades. So they've had a look through the camera that is on Perseverance, I'm guessing, and they've seen that the rotor blades are damaged, and it's basically not going to fly again, which is a shame, really. But it's lasted a lot longer than they thought it was going to do. But I just find that incredible as a drone pilot, that this thing was flying on another planet, flying on Mars and being controlled from the Earth, and it was beaming pictures back. To me, that's absolutely incredible. But if I was designing an aerial, an unmanned aerial vehicle to fly on another planet, I'd make sure the rotors were like caged, basically that in like a prop protection, similar to a drone, like a cage props on a drone, really. And I don't think I would have gone with a helicopter design. I think that's inherently a bit less stable than like a multi-rotor. I would have gone with maybe a quadcopter or even a hexacopter type design. So smaller props, and I would have had them caged as well, I reckon. So let's just carry on watching this.
On Ingenuity's rotor blades. NASA shared the photo on Twitter, saying, "Ingenuity looks to be holding up well in the harsh Martian environment." Ingenuity isn't your regular remote-controlled helicopter. This 4-pound robot hitched a ride to the red planet tucked in.
So it's 4 pounds, it weighs 4 pounds. And I can imagine I think it's about 19 inches tall. So that gives you an idea of the size of it.
Percy's chassis, and until it got there, NASA scientists weren't certain it would fly. Mars has a much thinner atmosphere.
You can see, you get an idea of the scale of it there. There's 2 people sort of working on it, so it gives you an idea of the scale.
Compared to Earth, making the physics of flight drastically different than at home. So Ingenuity was designed with 2 sets of specifically shaped blades that have to spin super fast to achieve takeoff.
Let's just go back. There's another little video here. I wonder if there's any footage. So this is its 54th flight. Let's have a look at this. So this will be being filmed by Perseverance, this now. So look, you can yaw it around. Just going up and down. So that was just a quick flight, that one. A quick take-off and land. Just testing, probably testing its... It probably couldn't actually fly that far, to be fair, because of the battery capacity would be quite small, I would imagine. Let's have a look at this. This is 2 minutes long.
And liftoff, launching the next generation of robotic explorers to the Red Planet.
We'd made it through launch, cruise, EL, all of that, and we were ready now to begin our real mission, our real life on Mars. And we were all excited.
So it was stored inside the chassis of Perseverance, and then it dropped down from below, from underneath it. That's where it sort of came out.
To see what Ingenuity could really do. We were ready for Flight 1.
Earlier today, Ingenuity should have autonomously performed its first flight attempt on Mars. We're all...
So she mentioned there that it was flying autonomously, so they probably send a command to it. So I thought they'd be controlling it from the Earth, but it seems to me they send like a command to it to do a certain flight, you know. So that's interesting that it was flying autonomously.
Holding our breath.
Ingenuity is reporting. Altimeter data confirms that Ingenuity has performed its first flight of a powered aircraft to another planet.
At that point, you just open.
So that was its first flight there. So it was just a test, you know, take off and land by the look of the telemetry graph. So just straight up, hover, and then straight down again. So just to test the stability of it and its flight characteristics. I suppose because it's quite a harsh environment, it's quite dusty and, you know.
In the floodgates of what is possible.
Yeah, it was surreal.
That was the crowning achievement of the team.
You know, we really had to hold hands and do it together.
From that moment forward, really, we were off to the races and saying, okay, great, that's done. Let's get back to work. Let's get to Flight 2, and then 3, and then so on and so on. Well, how fast can we fly? How high up above the surface can we fly? We started doing things in parallel with the rover, and we've also demonstrated that the helicopter can be a scout to help scientists.
So if you listen there, they mentioned that it could help Perseverance, help the rover. It could be a little scout for it. So they're working together basically. So what you got to imagine is the lay of the land and the terrain on the Mars will be quite harsh. And from Perseverance's camera view, you probably can't really tell what's ahead very far. You know, what the geography's like, what the terrain's like. Is there any drops coming up and things like that? So you could actually go along a little track thinking, oh yeah, I can go down here, and you get so far down, and then you get to a point where you're stuck, or there's a cliff, but so they can use the little Ingenuity drone. They can lift off, and they can have a better look from a little bit higher up. They can look much further into the distance, and they can sort of guide Perseverance rover in the right direction then. So you're not wasting the battery, and you're not going, you know, down sort of little trails that lead to nowhere, basically. So you can look ahead and you can plan your route a lot better. So that's quite good how they were doing that. So it did 5 flights over 30 days. So that gives you an idea of, probably takes a while for the battery to charge up, because if it's only on a small solar panel, it's going to take quite a long time to charge up. But it uses lots of energy when it's flying. 72 flights in 3 years.
It's been a remarkable journey, and I think a highlight of all of our lives to have been a part of it.
Of course, there's a little sadness.
This said, oh no, it's over. It's kind of the end of an era, but it's also the beginning of an era.
To realize, what you're part of here, at least for me.
So you imagine we've gone from the Wright brothers, first manned powered flight, controlled powered flight, and we're now flying little mini helicopters on Mars, on another planet. It's incredible. Can you imagine I can't imagine the Wright brothers ever imagining that back then when they on Kitty Hawk Sands playing around with this glider trying to get it to fly. I wonder what they would think that of the Ingenuity helicopter on Mars. That's incredible.
Kind of get goosebumps.
We hope that Ingenuity will inspire teams to build larger, more capable vehicles.
So, yeah, you see that one there with wheels. I'm just showing you some alternatives. And there was did you notice the multi-rotor one before? There was, which I suggested, a multi-rotor would be a little bit more reliable, I would have thought. Because those props there are quite long, they're unprotected. Don't forget if it hits a rock or, or it pitches slightly when it lands or just gets knocked over or something. And what's probably happened is the rotors have hit something on landing or it's a rock or something and it damaged the props because it's actually upright. It's not fell over or anything. So it's standing upright, but the props are damaged. So it's a shame that they can probably see through the camera and they can probably, read the data off it still, but they can't actually fly it anymore, which is a shame. So it's just a sad day for Ingenuity, but it's been I would say it's been a much bigger success than they ever imagined it would be. So in a way, that's really good. Considering they didn't even know if it was going to fly when it first got there. I think that's incredible. It's been flying for so long. Okay, guys, thought that might interest some of you and just some of my thoughts on it. Take care. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye bye for now.